Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Workday 56, 57, 58. Today is going to be a summary of what I've done in the last couple days. I decided to do it off camera. The primary reasons for it is I'm running out of good weather. Winter is coming along pretty quick, and I just work so much quicker off cam than I do on. So this video is just going to be a summary of the actions taken for the last 3 days worth of good weather. In addition to that, I think the biggest success is my Cork Insulation here. So previous rain days I've been playing around with different options and how to insulate this boat hull. And as I've said before, this is a boat that I'm willing to experiment with, have a play, do various things that might be out of the norm, at risk and cost to myself, and hopefully cost savings ultimately, depending if I make enough correct decisions. The Cork Insulation is a combination of SBR, some fume silica, some polypropylene strands, and cork granules. The mix, I'm not sure if I've got it quite on point, but this is the mix that I did in the last video, and it's extremely tough. I'm super happy with it. This is about 1 centimeter thick approximately. One thing that surprised me somewhat is there is a couple cracks in it as it dried. That is easy enough to fix when you just make more of it and you squidge it in the holes. The exterior of it is extremely tough. I'm going to do a destruction test at the end of the video to see how it comes off the hull, and go from there. I think this was definitely a winner. There was one of the viewers of the channel called Peter, I think it is, came over and said hello in the boatyard, and we were chatting about different ways to insulate a boat, and he put me onto something called graphotherm, which is a container anti-condensation paint. And with that suggestion, I looked into it deeper and deeper, and I was like, yeah, this really is a winner as well. So what is going to happen for the inside of this boat is we're going to do a zinc primer, aka zinc phosphate primer, HB420. We're going to then do the graphotherm anti-condensation paint throughout, and then more in the sort of living accommodation areas where you can bang your head, etc. And also just for the aesthetic appeal, I'm going to put the cork insulation, and I think I'm going to use the formula that I've come up with. Yeah, so there's that part. In addition to the cork insulation, I have finally started to work on the inside, and I've primed the inside forepeak here. This was hell on earth. I know I'm not meant to sandblast outside, but no one said anything about sandblasting inside. And so if you can imagine myself in full sandblasting kit and sandblasting this, that was me for a couple hours the other day. It was pretty brutal. The first coat here on it is just the HB420 phosphate primer. I'm hoping to do the rest of this forepeak either today, today and tomorrow, in the primer. I've run out of money basically, so I can't actually buy any more of the graphotherm paint, but that will be the next thing to do in here. Once I've done that, I'll just put in a forepeak bed. I won't move in, but what it will allow me to do is move all of this stuff that is constantly in my way into a dedicated space, and that will be the forepeak on the bed frame. I'm going to do a fabric door. I'm going to use fire blankets. So essentially, it's fiberglass matting is what a fire blanket is. But it also means that you can take your door off, throw it on a fire if in the event you need one. They're light, they're cheap, they're easy to fabricate. You can fold them up and put them away if you're solo sailing. I think it's quite a good bet. Yeah, and what else have we done? Now, on the outside of the boat, I have managed to put primer on my cockpit. That was such a mission, you wouldn't believe. The cockpit floor still needed some patch welding done to it, and then I needed to sand everything down. This completing the cockpit was probably about 2 days worth of work. With doing that, I also seam welded the bulwarks on the inside. So, not sure if you can see, but this seam along here, on the inside, I seam welded it, which is not glamorous work, but when it comes to the sheet material, the hull sheeting, I want to weld both inside and outside. If I weld only one side, I can be less gusto about the amperage and therefore the penetration I put into the steel. But if I put a weld on one side as best I can, and then I can up my amperage and then put more welly into it the other side, which sort of ensures it ensures penetration. And worst case scenario, you've just got a bit of a fatter bead of weld, which I'm not too fussed about. I also have bought all the I decided against stainless for the stanchions, and I've bought steel. So I've bought 25mm tube. It wasn't technically, it's not tube. Tube is internal dimensions, so it's pipe. No, it's tube. Tube is external, pipe is internal dimension. So I bought 25mm tube for the stanchions, as well as I'm going to have I don't know what you call it, but one of those things at the back that you can put your radar on, and my future lifeboat, my VHF and stuff like that. I'd also like the ability to attach some kind of sun protector that goes from the back of the boat to the cockpit, as I think people don't really spend enough time thinking about potential UV considerations with boats. But yeah, that's what I've done so far. I'm sorry if I didn't record it all, but I am getting to that point where I need to push on. So I think a lot more of the videos will be summaries of days, as opposed to me recording every single thing. Given that I've had such a big drop off in terms of viewership, I don't think it's going to be missed anyway. But thank you very much for watching, and you'll start to see quite solid progress in the next month or two. Mainly because, one, I'm spending a lot more time here, and two, I'm not going to record throughout the day. Okay, so we're back inside. I'm going to do a quick destruction test of this to see how kind of tough it is, get a feel of the consistency of it. You can definitely tell by the touch of your hand there's a difference in temperature. I don't have any real ability to give you any kind of hard numbers on it, but at the end of the day, it's basically synthetic latex and cork granules. So you can ask Rock for an estimate of what the U value will be for that type of insulation. But in terms of the texture of it, it's very tough. I don't have much nails, but with a scratch, there's no granules coming off. The nature of it, there's a bit of deflection. It's the type of deflection that if I put it on the corner of steel, it'll hold. But more importantly, any of the bigger fellas that come into my boat, when they bang their heads, this will definitely save their heads from getting cut up. In terms of ability to get off, we've got that there. I don't think it's 100% dry. It took to dry, so it wasn't a 24-hour process. I mean, bearing in mind this is a cold steel boat with no heating, but it was probably be about 4 days, 5 days before I could sort of see the cork color start to come up. Prior to that, it was still the white SBR showing through. But I mean, as you can see, it's pretty tough stuff. Of a similar kind of difficulty of getting off than it is with the foam. So this is spray foam from last time, but in fact the cork is far harder to get off than the spray foam. So this is, I'm pretty sure it was polyurethane foam that was originally on the boat, but it's snappable. And then we've got the cork. Now the cork itself is peeling away some of the old paint. I didn't see much issue with it being not adhered, so I can't really get it off unless I use a crowbar around the edges. I am worried about adhesion. I'm not worried about it, but I'm very conscious of adhesion on the boat hull, because I don't want any void space. Because any void space will there'll be potential for corrosion. Which is why the graphotherm will be such an added benefit. The graphotherm is anti-condensation paint, but in addition to that, it's got a very textured surface, which I think the cork will adhere to in a really solid manner. But this is the insulation. The cork granules are between 0.5 and 1 millimeter cork size. I'm kind of tempted to go back to the 1 to 2 mil now that I've got a better formulation, or maybe mix and match the two, because I've got 2 buckets of the stuff. But yeah, what else? Let's just see if it comes off properly. So I still don't think this is fully dry, in truth. That's 7 days. There's a little bit of moisture to it. And I think when it fully cures, the whiteness in it disappears as per the top layer. So it is a slow dry process. Or you could probably increase the speed of it by having like a gas forced, what are they called? Forced air vent heater things. But yeah, let's see. The adhesion's good to a point where the paint's coming off more so than it's just peeling off with no fight. So that you see there, they're not so good. In terms of, yeah, it is like a beer mat made out of cork, where, you know, the way you'd break a cork beer mat and it sort of breaks away. I would say that this is slightly tougher, probably because of the polypropylene strands, but there's not much in it. And if we compare that to the foam, this is the foam. The foam comes apart a lot easier. Although, would I say adhesion to the hull? Maybe a touch better with the foam. The foam does have better adhesion qualities. But then again, it's like, with the cork, I'm pretty sure I could dress this to look good on its own. If you were to do the spray insulation, polyurethane foam job, you're going to be sheeting something in front of it because it'll look minging. In addition, like this is got no sort of compressive strength. So as soon as you sort of scratch it or damage it, you're going to have to make a plan in terms of if you were to leave it as a sort of an exposed surface, you'd have to, like, it would be a pain in the arse to repair. Where this, I think the ability to repair is a real plus as well. So worst case scenario, I reckon I could get a blender, put this in the blender, chop it up, and then shove it back onto the wall. And also, yeah, I think this is a prepped surface. Will be really quite a nice looking interior boat. I plan to have an open plan boat, so yeah, it's going to be very corky. It's going to be very woody coloured in general. But, yeah. Yeah, more paint. There's different colours of paint as well. So I know with the adhesion of the various paints that this boat has gone through in its life, some of the paints adhere better than others. Kind of surprised the red paint was tough to get off. So that is that's a good sign. I'm not sure what the absorption is. Like, I didn't bother my arse prepping the surface before I applied this, so had I cleaned the surface, it would probably adhere far better. But what I find interesting is it's absorbed quite a lot of the colouring in it. So yeah, prepping surface would would probably be a good idea. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm not going to lie. I think this is a successful attempt at some DIY cork insulation. How it compares with the stuff on the market, one can only speculate. The stuff on the market, will it have polypropylene strands in it? I'm guessing not. Will it probably be PVA-based binding agent? I suspect so. Will that PVA-based binding agent outperform synthetic latex, which is what essentially SBR is? I'm guessing not. If you compare it to, again, there was a famous plastering YouTuber called On Trowel. He talks about the disparity between SBR and PVA in plastering applications when it comes to sealing a wall before plaster. And so you can kind of extrapolate from what he's saying that I think SBR is better. But yeah, that's all I've really got for you today. As I've previously said, I've done the four-peak. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lots of sanding, a little bit of sandblasting in the corners. The other thing that I'm going to try and achieve in the next 1 or 2 days is these holes need to get welded up. It'll be my first attempt at overplating. So I'm going to overplate these because I'm going to insulate it up anyway. So you won't actually see the overplating. And it's a good little practice for below waterline where I intend to overplate, neatly overplate, have a sort of an overlap of maybe 2 centimeters. But it just means there's 2 beads of weld, interior and exterior. And I just hope that I was always bothered about overplating and the entrapment of moisture, therefore the risk of rust. But it seems so common practice that I'm probably overthinking it a little bit. But if we can do an overplate that is sort of got a equidistant, say 2 centimeter lip around the overplating, it will allow for dual weld, 2 beads of weld inside and outside at 2 different points. So it will give the strength of the overplating, but also hopefully mitigate the risk of moisture entrapment within between the 2 plates. But yeah, okay. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you for watching.